Okay. All right. So we're going to come to a comfortable seat. Whether that's on the edge of a blanket or on a bolster. So our hips are a little bit elevated, especially when your legs are a little bit, or your hips are a little bit tight. It's nice to have your hips elevated. So this is my first time sitting on the floor today. So my hips are very, very tight. So you're having your hips elevated and kind of working your seat bones to the edge of that cushion helps your knees to fall open and down with a little bit more ease. From to notice and contact with the floor or the props, and then notice an upright spine. So usually also too, having your hips elevated, it allows your spine to be much more upright, and it's harder to slouch. Not impossible, but it's harder. So yeah, see, I can still do it. I'm just skilled in slouching, I think. So we're sitting up tall, and then we can close our eyes or take a soft gaze. We're just going to take a moment to check in, kind of decompress the excitement of, even though we're home, it's the transitions, moving from being somewhere and doing something else, and then being here on your mat and on your cushion and being here. You can allow your jaw to soften. And notice what any emotions that you're bringing, any physical sensations. We notice all of the things. And then we're going to bring our palms together at heart center. And we're going to pull the index fingers apart, the middle fingers apart from each other, and the ring fingers apart. So the base of the hand, the thumb and the pinky fingers are still touching each other, but the middle 3 fingers on each hand are not touching. So they're open. So this is a lotus mudra. The lotus flower grows in a kind of swampy kind of area. And so this mudra helps kind of direct our mind and directs energy towards the idea of abundance and having our roots grounded, or be grounded in our roots, and then growing up into the light. And we're going to take a few breaths here, probably about 5 to 10, depending on how fast or slow you breathe, but really try to slow it down. And then one more breath together here. And we'll allow our hands to soften and set them back in our lap. You can start to open your eyes. And I want you to imagine something, or think about something that you're grateful for, and call that into your mind. And then we can place our right hand on the floor next to us. The left arm will go up and over for a side bend. We're gonna hold this bend for a couple breaths. So our left seat bone stays rooted down as the left arm reaches up and over. And then we'll come back up. Left palm on the floor. The right arm can come up and over. The right seat bone staying rooted. Like that lotus flower. It's grounded, and we're growing our arm, our petals up towards the light. And then we'll come back to center. We're gonna sweep both arms up. The pinkies are the palms of the hands are facing each other, or you can even kind of wrap the pinkies in towards each other a little bit. And the arms are strong. We're gonna inhale here. And then we're gonna exhale and twist to the right. We're gonna hold here for a couple breaths. Inhaling, we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we twist. So inhale, untwist, raise the arms. I'm gonna have a breath or two here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. And inhale back to center. If you can, you lean back slightly, uncross and recross your legs. And we're gonna take a side bend. Inhale back up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, both arms up. And twist to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back up. And then exhale, place the hands in front of you. We're gonna move into a tabletop position. So if you just go over the knees, or if there's another way that makes sense for you to get to your tabletop, we'll meet up there. We'll move the bolsters out of the way for a moment. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and we're gonna drop the belly low on the inhale. So the belly expands, comes towards the floor. The gaze starts to come forward. And then exhaling, chin to chest, rounding through the back. Inhale, drop the belly low, bring the gaze forward. So we'll take a few breaths like that, moving nice and slow. We'll do two more. The next time you go to inhale, move to a neutral spine. Here, we're engaging the core. So we're holding kind of the belly strong, the back engaged, and we're gonna inhale the left arm up. I'm gonna take a couple breaths here. So my gaze is towards the floor. It's kind of gentler on the neck, or just like at the top of the mat. And then lower that left hand down. Switching to the right side, we're gonna inhale the right arm up. Couple breaths here. And then lower that hand down. We'll circle over the wrists, just to kind of warm them up a little bit. And switch directions. And then moving back to our tabletop, we're gonna inhale and extend the left leg. So trying to keep the hips square or level. Trying not to open up to the side. So you can kind of look back at your foot. And if your left foot is facing down, then you're probably more or less pretty level. If it starts to shoot out the toes to the left, then it might mean you're kind of opening the hips. So we'll hold here. If you want, you can circle. Nice, small, slow circles. You can come down to your forearms if your wrists get sore or tired. Doesn't hurt to switch it up every once in a while, even if your wrists are fine. And switch direction of your circle. Okay, we're going to hold here with the leg lifted. We're going to lift a little bit higher. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring the knee towards the chest, rounding through the upper back. And then we'll inhale, extend. So the hips are square, and then we'll lift slightly. And then exhale, knee to the chest. Last one, inhale, extend the leg. Lift slightly. And then exhale, knee to chest. And then set that knee back down. So your right hip, it might be feeling it right now. So we're gonna push back into a child's pose. Just take a breath or two there. And if your shoulders are tight here, your hands by your heels. Another breath here. And on the inhale, we'll move back into our tabletop. From here, we'll extend the right leg. And we can hold here. So again, we're checking to make sure that we're not opened to the side. Our toes on our right foot are pointing straight down. It almost feels like your inner thigh of the right leg is spiraling up towards the ceiling. So from here, we'll circle the lifted right leg. So this works your core and your glutes. Also weightlifting exercise for that opposite leg. Not to mention, it kind of gets you inside your body a little bit, thinking about it. And we'll switch directions of our circle. Again, you can come to the forearms if that's more comfortable. And then we'll hold here in the center, kind of neutral. And then we'll inhale, raise the leg a little bit higher. And then exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale, extend. And then exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale, last one, extend. And then exhale, knee the chest. We'll lower that knee back down. You can take a wide knee child's pose so the toes would touch or come close to each other and the knees would come maybe even mat distance apart. And then stretch out into your child's pose. Again, if your shoulders are tight, you can bring your arms back alongside your body. Okay, we'll bring our gaze towards the top of our mat. We're gonna bring our hands over to the right side of the mat and lower down for a side bend here in our child pose. We're filling up the left side of the ribs with breath. And bring our gaze up towards the top of the mat as we move our hands over to the left and lower down. And then we'll move back to the center. Bring the knees, the toes under, and push your hips up and back for your first down dog. Doesn't have to be a very spectacular dog. Your knees can be very bent. Actually, I highly recommend a good bent knee down dog, especially in the beginning. You're already. So we're pushing the floor away. We want a nice long line from the hands to the hips. And the knees can be bent. On your next inhale, you can bring your gaze towards your hands. And on the exhale, you can either walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. We're going to come all the way up to stand. Arms can come up overhead. Take a tiny back bend and exhale. Bring the hands to the heart. Good. Good. In our mountain pose, so the feet are pulling side to side. Belt buckle, I actually have a belt buckle on this time. It's not very big though. Although belt buckles and yoga do not mix. I'm gonna have to tell you. You didn't know that already. Apparently I didn't. So the belt buckle lifts. Tailbone, imagine that traveling down. I had one teacher many years ago talk about my tailbone touching the backs of my heels, and it didn't make any sense to me at the time. A little bit more it does now. So belt buckle up, tailbone down, shoulders up, back and down. And we're pulling the feet apart. Now, if you want to set an intention or say an affirmation for this class, you can do it now. Always like a class with that kind of idea popped in there somewhere, and just kind of brings you back to, you know, we all want to get the physical aspect and we all want the exercise, but we need the connection. So using those mountain pose legs, you're going to inhale the arms up. Keeping that tension in the legs, we're going to exhale, take a side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale back to center. Exhale here. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. It takes a little extra work here when we're using those mountain pose legs, kind of that extra strength. And then we're gonna lower down the heels to the floor and fold forward on the exhale. We're gonna inhale to a halfway lift. So it's a nice long back. And then exhale again and fold. Take a slight bend to the knees. And we're gonna inhale all the way back up to stand. Arms wide and high. Tiny back bend at the top if you want. And then exhale back into your mountain pose, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. Side bend to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale here. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. And something a little different, we're gonna exhale, bend the knees, keeping the heels up. Come down, forward fold, then lower the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. You can even extend the arms out to the side. And then exhale and fold, bend the knees. All the way down. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale here. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. And then again, exhaling, bending the knees, keeping the heels up. Forward fold. Lower the heels. Inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, place the hands on the floor, step back into a high plank. So you're pressing down into the thumb and the forefinger. So that's, you don't want to have your hands rolling, the weight rolling to the outside of the hands. You want it kind of rolling to the inside a little bit more. You can lower down to the knees. Elbows will bend and you're going to exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Elbows are brushing against your side. Inhale, baby cobra. We're pulling our hands back towards our hips. And then exhale, hips to heels. Child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, down dog. You can walk your dog, bending and straightening each leg. We're going to inhale the right leg up. And then exhale, step it as far forward as you can. Inhale up, crescent lunge. Take a couple breaths here. So our front leg is bent, our right leg is bent, our left leg is straight. We're up on the ball of the back foot, the left foot. The arms are up. Big inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot back to meet the left. We're in the plank again. We're going to exhale, down dog. We're gonna inhale the left leg up. On the exhale, we're gonna place it as far forward as we can. Inhale all the way up. Crescent lunge with the left leg forward. Right leg is engaged, it's very strong. Inhale here. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right. And we're in this plank again. Imagine your belt buckle moving up towards your chest. Lower down, knees first, and then hips towards the heels. Child's pose. Inhale back to your tabletop. We're going to exhale and press the hips up and back for down dog. Sorry, on the exhale, but it'll make it easier than a full belly full of air as you try to fold forward. And then we'll inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step back into your plank. So the thighs are very engaged and pressing up towards the ceiling. Your belt buckle is lifting up towards your chest, and your shoulders are pushed out to either side. So you're rounding through the upper back. Okay, lower down onto the knees, elbows pointing back as you lower all the way down. Your hands are pulling back towards your hips, isometrically pulling back as you lift. We take a couple breaths here. And then we'll push all the way back. Toes. Inhale, table. Exhale, down dog. We'll inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it as far forward as you can. Inhale all the way up, crescent lunge. So we'll hold here for a couple breaths, but we're going to be moving a little bit in our crescent lunge. So we're gonna hold in this position, but we're still gonna move. We're gonna exhale, bend the left knee. Like we're gonna touch it to the floor and then extend. So we're straightening that leg again. So bend the left knee and then straighten. One more time, bend and then straighten. Big inhale here. Exhale, plant the hands. Step that right foot back to meet the left. We're in our plank, pushing the shoulders away or the floor away. We're gonna lower down onto the knees. Exhale, elbows come in towards your side, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift for baby cobra as your hands are pulling back towards your hips. Inhale here. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. We're going to inhale the left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step it as far. We're going to exhale and bend the right knee. And then inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Last one, bend and straighten. Big inhale here. Exhale, place the hands. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Here we are in our plank again. This time, see if you can tip forward and lower all the way down in one straight line. Either that, lower down knees first. Again, in our cobra, our hands are pulling back, shoulders are lifting, moving towards the back of our room. And then pushing back, child's pose. We're gonna take a couple breaths here in child's pose, or you can stop and get a drink. Always throw in child's pose, down dog, whatever you want. If you need a little break or your body just needs a little child's pose. We're gonna lift back up to our tabletop. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back for down dog. Now the upper arms in down dog, they're wrapping in towards each other, the upper arms. So it's if I was looking at you from your hands and your head, your upper arms, your biceps are underneath your triceps. No, sorry. Your triceps are underneath your biceps. Unless you're Gumby, and then you could probably do that. So I'm gonna see your biceps. Okay, so we're gonna inhale, bring our gaze towards our hands. And on the exhale, we'll step our feet forward towards our hands. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now I'm going to face you. You can reach our arms out in front and we're going to sit slightly. Now you can use a block here for balance. Book or a coffee table. So I'm going to sit. This is option number 1. So keeping the legs close together. Option number 2, I'm going to cross the left leg over the right. Now I'm using the block for balance. Option number 3, just ignore the block. Then we're going to take the right arm across. We're going to take the left arm. The left elbow is going to sit in the crease of the right elbow. And we're moving towards the hands towards each other. The feet are moving towards each other. And if you fall out, you fall out. You come back to the beginning. I think it's better to try a little harder variation and fall out than just stay with the same old, same old. You know, if you get really good at one pose, move on to the next one. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. You can kind of shake everything out. We're going to come to our chair pose, basically. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Use your block if you want. The left arm is going to come in front of the body. The right elbow is going to sit in the left elbow crease. And so maybe you get really good at this, and then you kick out the block. You double wrap the foot. If you get really, really good, you can close your eyes. And then we'll unwrap. Come all the way back up to stand. Yay. Okay. I'm gonna inhale the arms up as we sit. I'm gonna take an inhale here. Exhale, sit a little deeper. So your gaze is kind of at the end of your mat, maybe a little bit, a couple feet ahead of the end of your mat. So you're not having to worry about bringing your gaze up towards the ceiling or anything. We'll come all the way up on the inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Take a big step back with the left foot and rotate the left heel down. Then kind of cartwheel up to your warrior two on this side. So the front leg, the front foot is very square. The knee is right pointing at the second toe and third toe. And then the left foot, your weight is going towards the outside of the left foot. So the right leg is bent, left leg is straight, and bring the arms up. So you might be able to actually use the camera to see if your arms are level. Maybe you have a mirror in your room, you can kind of check that out. We're gonna inhale, straighten the front leg overhead, and then exhale, bend right back into that right knee. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale. One more, inhale. This time we're going to exhale, bend into that front knee. The right forearm comes to the right knee. The left arm can come all the way up and overhead. So the left hand is pointing towards me, pointing towards your screen. Again, the weight is to the outside of that left foot. Kind of imagine your left arch lifting. If it's comfortable, you bring your gaze towards the ceiling. And then we'll inhale all the way up. Back to your warrior two. Inhale the arms up, straighten the leg. And here we're going to exhale, place the left hand on the left hip, full back bend towards the left, sorry. Not a back bend. So we'll inhale, move back to your warrior two. And then we'll inhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arms, pivot the right foot in, and then pivot the left foot out. So you'll be facing away from me, or you can just flip around. Bend into that left knee. And float the arms. We're gonna inhale, arms up, left leg is straight. Exhale, bend into that left knee. Inhale, lengthen, come up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend into that left knee and place the left forearm on the left knee. The right arm can come all the way up and over. If it's comfortable, bring your gaze up towards your hand, your right hand to the ceiling. And then inhale all the way back up. Straighten that flag. Exhale, right hand to right hip, and take a side bend to the right. Inhale back up. Pivot the left foot in, 5-pointed star. We're going to bring the hands to the hips. Exhale, fold forward. And you can widen the feet as much as you want here. You can bring your palms to the floor. Sometimes you can bring your forearms to the floor. Maybe your block or your bolster can be here. You can start to walk your hands towards your heels. Or you can keep your hands directly underneath your shoulders. And just take a couple more breaths here. Okay, you can start to heel toe the feet in a little bit if you took them really wide. And then you're going to bring the heels in, knees wide, toes wide, come all the way up, goddess pose. So you're going to sit as deeply as you can. Back isn't super arched, but the tighter your hips are open, kind of forward, kind of arching through the low back. So it's very easy to kind of be like this. Want to try to tuck the seat bones under a little bit. Okay. Can rock side to side. We're going to inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, we're going to imagine that you're pulling down the cables as we bend our knees. We're going to lower down into our goddess pose, but we're going to make like a bicep curl at the same time as we come down. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Reach. Exhale, do your bicep curl as you sit. We're going to do a couple more of those. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Reach. And then bicep curl on the way down. 2 more. Inhale. Last one. Come down, soften the arms. You can lift one heel and then the other, kind of switching back and forth. Your quads are probably screaming. Mine are. And then if you want, try to lift both heels and sit a little bit deeper. Lower the heels, stand up, move the feet together, back into your mountain pose. Doesn't mountain pose feel good now? You can close your eyes, check in. Okay. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take a side bend. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale back to center, exhale here. Inhale up. the balls of the feet. We're going to exhale, bring the hips low so our heels are raised, and we're coming into our chair pose. We're going to bring the arms back, drinking bird, the heels stay lifted. It's kind of a balance challenge. And then reaching forward, chair pose with the heels lifted. And then exhale, drinking bird. One more chair and one more bird. Inhale to your chair. Exhale, bird. Lower the heels, forward fold on an exhale. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Dive out, forward fold. Place the hands. We're gonna step back into our plank. Inhale here. Exhale, down dog. We're gonna inhale the left leg up. And then we're gonna exhale, bring the left knee towards the left wrist. And then inhale, back to a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee to the right wrist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Left knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower back into your down dog. Back onto the knees. You can tuck the toes under and sit back. Interlace the fingers, figure eight the wrists. So if your arches are really tight and this is painful, stay more up or don't tuck the toes and come down. Find a happy place somewhere in between. And reverse your figure eight. Place the hands back onto the floor, hips up and back for down dog. This time we're gonna raise the right leg for three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to forehead. Inhale, extend. Right knee, left wrist. Inhale, extend. Right knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Right knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. Lower down to the knees. Again, come back, figure eight the wrists. You can even shake them out. Okay. We're gonna come into a kind of a crouchy, squatty position here. Your heels do not have to be on the floor, they can be lifted. And you're going to twist to the right. So I'm placing both hands to the right of my right leg. I'm using my left elbow to twist a little farther, a little deeper. I'll take a couple breaths here. You can always bring the floor closer to you by using a block or blocks or a book. Then we'll come back to center and we'll twist to the left. Using my right arm to press into my left thigh. So you can continue to do that and practice on each side. If you want to eventually try to work into an arm balance, you can just tip to the side. Tip until your palms touch. My left hand or my left upper arm is still pressing into my right thigh when I'm twisting to this side. Try to bring my left or my right elbow towards my right hip. And then you can do the other side. You start to kind of lean over until your hands can touch. My hands don't like to touch my leg. Eventually, your elbows will bend. And maybe you lift off, maybe you don't. And then you try the other side. And then come back to center. We'll move into a forward fold, coming down onto the heels. And we'll inhale all the way back up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. We're gonna take a step back with the right leg into our crescent lunge. Kind of a modified crescent lunge. It's not your biggest crescent lunge ever. Bring the arms out in front like you're reaching towards me. And you're going to, on the exhale, lift your right knee forward. Maybe touch it or grab it. And then set it back down. So we'll do that a couple more times. So crescent lunge to knee lift. Back to crescent lunge. One more time, knee lift. Crescent lunge. So from here, we'll try bringing the right knee forward, taking a twist to the right, untwist, crescent lunge. Woo! So we inhale here, exhale, knee comes forward, inhale again, fall over, why not? Take a twist to the right, and then back to your crescent lunge. Good, try it one more time. Knee comes forward. Nice, you guys are doing awesome. Twist to the right. Untwist. Crescent lunge. Good. Woo. March it out, shake your arms. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So crescent lunge. The left leg is back now. Crescent lunge, the arms can be forward or up. And we're going to exhale, bring the left knee forward, maybe catch it. Inhale back into your crescent lunge. We'll do it 2 more times. Grab that knee. Back into crescent lunge. And one more time. Reach. Great. And then back into crescent lunge. You guys are doing awesome. Okay. Now we'll reach, open to the left for our twist. Untwist, crescent lunge. Wow, my balance is just like on a boat or something. Knee forward, open up to your twist, untwist, crescent lunge. We'll do it one more time. Bring it forward, twist, and then untwist, crescent lunge, and then come back to your standing position. Grab a drink. It's funny, out the windows I get to see Emma's outside playing with the chickens. So I'll see her like run by one window, then I hear a turkey gobble, and then I see her like run back by, and I hear like goats out there. She's kind of like the not typical kid that I know anyway. She's definitely not like my stepkids. Okay, so inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back into your plank. I think this is it on the planks. We're going to press back into down dog. I think there's only like one other down dog. We're going to inhale the right leg up. And then exhale, bring the right knee towards the right wrist. So if you want to move into pigeon, you can do that. If pigeon doesn't work for you, keeping your legs like on train tracks, keeping them straight. So my right heel is directly under my right thigh. So this is an option. This option here is really good for stretching out the hip flexor without putting a lot of extra pressure on the knee or doing that rotation that can bother your hip. So pick what works for you. If your hips start to kind of fall towards the right, you can place a block or a book or a blanket or bolster underneath that hip to kind of give you a little extra stability. You can stay upright like I am right now, or you can start to fold forward. So your choice, whatever you're feeling like tonight. And no matter what variation you chose, if you want the quad stretch, you just bend the left leg. And even if you can't reach it, having it bent, it starts to kind of open up the hip flexor a little bit, starts to stretch the quads. So that's an option. If you can't reach, you can use a strap or lasso it with a sweatshirt, or you can just leave it out. It was a really, really long time of, well, I guess not that really that long, a few years anyway, of where I practiced yoga thinking I was doing it right and doing, you know, what the teacher told me, and trying to kind of do things that didn't really work for my body. And then it wasn't until I took my yoga teacher training with Teresa, and it was a greater understanding of how to get the poses to kind of fit me, And they don't have to be like what it looks like in those yoga trainers and stuff. Have to, you know, I'm not a 14-year-old Indian boy, to be honest. I mean, so a lot of times that's what that is, or it's the hypermobile, you know, Cirque du Soleil people. You can do yoga without even moving your body. It's more than just the asana, the physical practice. You can release your foot if you have it. You can come up into your proud pigeon. Tuck the toes under, the left toes under. Move back into a down dog if that suits you. You're going to eventually lift the left leg this time and bring the left knee towards the left wrist. And again, the left heel can be more underneath your glute instead of being out to the right. Oh, I got Emma peeking in the window. You can stay up or you can fold forward. Make sure to relax your jaw. I just realized I was clenching mine. That you're breathing. Looking for the quad stretch. Lift the right heel. Reach back for it. And there are definitely days where I can't reach. Take just a couple more breaths on this side and release the foot whenever you want. I'm not super worried about symmetry because we're not very symmetrical. But I tend to notice that the sides that I want to do less on, it's because it's harder. And it's usually because I'm not as flexible on that side. So I might want to think about actually trying a little harder to stay when I want to come out. Or at least notice what's going on when I want to come out. Am I actually hurting? Am I tired? It's a great thing to notice. Sometimes your brain just starts to freak out and wants you to get out. Release the foot and come back into a proud pigeon, an upright pigeon. So you have the option to move back into a downward facing dog or shift over to the left hip bring both legs out in front of you. You can grab your blanket or bolster again. We're gonna prop up the hips. So if you have a blanket or a long sock or a sweatshirt like I have, or a strap, I'm going to hook it around your feet, stay up tall, and start to hinge forward. Feet, so your toes are pointed back towards your face. The back staying really long, so we're not trying to round, trying to stay upright. We'll release, sit up tall, bring the left foot inside the right leg. So if that works, if this up here does not work, you can bring it farther down. You can bring it out to the side. We're going to focus on taking a stretch over that right leg. So the foot is flexed. You could use your sweatshirt again, hook the ball of your foot, sitting up tall, and then hinging forward. So you want this stretch in the back of that right leg, not in your lower back. So if you're kind of pulling yourself down and it starts to get tender in your low back, come up a little bit more. Release that forward fold a little bit. Keeping your chest lifted. So imagine that you're bringing your chest towards your knee, like your forehead towards your knee. We'll release that. And we'll switch sides. So maybe the right foot comes in towards the thigh or out. You can hook the ball of the left foot. Again, sitting upright. Seem to be much tighter on this side personally. So I stay up. As my body starts to open, maybe it relaxes a little bit more. I can go a little bit deeper. Just a couple more breaths here. Maybe a little bit deeper if it's available to you. And then we'll release and come up. You can bend the knees, come back onto your hands. Windshield wiper the knees. Open up through the heart. We're going to lay back onto the floor, bring our block with us or our book. The feet are on the floor. We're going to lift the hips, and I like a medium height for the block. I'm going to place it right at the sacrum. So it's that kind of shovel-shaped bone right below the waistband of your pants. So you can stay here, you can relax your arms down at your side. If you want to do an unsupported bridge, you can do that and remove the block and hold yourself up. Or you can even just kind of play around with lifting off your block, lowering back down, lifting off your block, lowering back down. So that's fun with it. If you want to raise your legs up towards the ceiling, you can do that. You can pedal an imaginary bicycle. You can do some kind of variation of a splits or straddle. Or even just ankle rolls. We'll take just a few more breaths here. It's kind of funny from this angle. All I can see is just like feet in the air. Okay, we'll very slowly bring one foot down and then the other. We'll lift the hips, remove the block, and lower our hips to the floor. From here, you can hug the knees in towards the chest, rock side to side. You can circle the knees. We're gonna place our hands underneath our head. I have my fingers interlaced and I'm pressing my head down into my hands. My knees are still bent. I'm going to start to straighten one leg and bring it away from me, or move it away from me. So it's almost touching the floor. So my left knee is bent and my right leg is straight, almost touching the floor, and then I'll hug that right knee back in. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be the right leg, but you can, whatever leg you're starting with. And then the other leg, bring it almost to the floor, and then hug it back in. So we're gonna do a couple of those. So extending the leg, and bring it back. And then the other one. Kind of pushing that lower back into the floor as you do this. And then 2 more on each side. So bring it back. The other leg. And taking that arch out of the low back. Bring the left leg, bring that leg back. 1 more on each side. Kind of shaking a little bit. It's working. Bring that knee back. Last one, last leg. Extend. And then bring it back. Good. Hug the knees in, rock side to side. We're going to put our feet back on the floor. The knees are bent. And the feet are wide, so maybe almost mat distance apart. And you're gonna let both knees fall to the right. So the feet are wide, the knees are wide, but they're both knees are pointed over to the right hand side. Now you can stay here. Another option is to bring your right ankle over your left knee. So that's going to intensify this stretch. And you know, maybe it might be too uncomfortable. my foot just wants to slide off. So I like to be a little bit more restful in this kind of twist. So I'll leave my right foot on the floor. Feels if there, or you have a kid in your living room, have them press down on that left leg a little bit on your left thigh. That feels nice. Just a couple more breaths here. You can bring the knees back to the center. Hug the knees in towards your chest and rock side to side. Happy baby. And then we'll bring the feet back onto the floor, and then we'll let both knees fall to the left. Again, if you want a more intense variation, you can hook the left knee over the right left ankle over the right knee. That if that's too intense, you just leave both knees on the floor. Well, my right knee is kind of above the floor, but my left leg is down. Just a couple more breaths here. Okay, we'll bring our knees back towards the center. Taking the knees in for a squeeze. You can, again, happy baby, any variation that you want. We're going to move into our final relaxation pose. So if you need any layers, anything to be more comfortable, you can grab that now. If there's any final poses between now and your relaxation pose, you can do that. And I'm going to sit up, but you can lay down. You can prop your legs up, you can bundle up. And when you're comfortable, I want you to bring your awareness to your right hand. Now, I'd like you to imagine that your breath is traveling from your fingertips of your right hand all the way up your arm, the side of your neck, to the middle of your forehead. So it's traveling in your right nostril up to the center of your forehead. And on the exhale, it travels down through your nostril, all the way down your left arm and into your left fingertips, and travels out your left fingertips. On the inhale, it travels up your left hand, up into your left nostril, to the center of your forehead. Exhaling all the way down your right arm, out through your right fingertips. Inhaling through the right fingertips, all the way up the arm, to the center of the eyebrows, and then exhaling down the left. So you're going to keep doing that. You're going to imagine it traveling up one side and down the other. The side that you exhale on is the side that you inhale on. So you're exhaling down the right, inhaling on the right, exhaling on the left, inhaling on the left, exhaling on the right. So continue like that. So you can continue with this pranayama, or you can release it. Come back to a natural breath. If your mind starts to wander, you can go back to that pranayama or try to focus on the breath. You'll start to make your awareness come back to your breath. Follow it. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. Now we'll start to make some small movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes. And start to gently rock your head side to side. You can even start to make some bigger movements, wrist and ankle rolls, or even a big stretch. Over the next couple of breaths, you'll roll over to one side. And allowing yourself to move slowly and enjoying the last few moments of practice. Eventually, you will push yourself up to a seated position. And then we'll place our hands over our heart, or even in the lotus mudra that we did in the beginning of class. So the pinkies touch, the heels of the hands touch, and the thumbs touch. The other fingers are pulled open. I'm just going to take a few breaths here together. And welcoming that abundance and the light into our lives. Can release the mudra, placing the hands over our heart once again. And we'll thank ourselves for being here and practicing together this evening. The community is, exactly what we need right now. May we all feel loved, connected, and grateful. And may we have the strength, courage, and balance to overcome all the obstacles before us. From my heart to your heart, peace and namaste. Now I'm going to unmute everybody. Maybe. All right.
Ooh, that was good.